how to replace the drive belt on a XL30 Pro DR brush hog. You'll see that I have it pretty much exposed. I'll walk through it backwards as I put it back together. So you'll notice that I have the belt in there. You have to turn it sideways, right? You can't put it on through this way, up over the top of this. You've got to put it in the skinny way and then just shove it over. I had the help of this long tool, which you just kind of put in there and push the belt. And then you can work it on through. Now that I have the belt on there, I have to put the belt guard back on. So I took that off by actually pulling it out. So you want to put it back on using the 2 bolts. There's one here. This is why you have to have the back off. You simply can't get this job done without taking the guard all the way out. At least I don't think so. That's one, and then there was another one over there. Now you'll notice the fuel line and stuff, I cut the, and I actually had used a string to kind of keep it over here while I took the bolt off. So anyway, you'll notice that I have a pry bar on here, and that takes the tension off the bolt, so it makes it easier to get that bolt screwed in. I'm using a curved 1/2-inch wrench, and it's kind of, here I'll show you, it's kind of important to have a curved one because that lets you get into these nooks and crannies that are hard to tighten a bolt on. So okay, so now I've got the guard nice and bolted tight, and the belt's kind of half-assed in there. I'll fix that when I go around to the other side and tilt this back and put the other pulley back on. But for now, we want to make sure that we secure the fuel lines and stuff. So we're going to take a zip tie and put it back the way it was. So I'm going to do that here, and I'll probably do that here. I can't remember if there's a zip tie, but there's going to be now. Okay, you can see the zip ties. Nothing fancy, just kind of holding that there. So now I have to put the plate back on. It's upside down at the moment, and you'll notice that I'd actually taken one of these out. And the reason I'd taken that out was it was broken at the other end, but I managed to fix that with a real hack. But you'll see that these have these little pinchy things on them, and that's what I had to pinch when the plate was exposed on the backside. You can see that you have to pinch those to take them off. And then they'll slide right down that nice little groove here. And in this case, this one right here, see that? So I'm just going to put that back in there right here and pop it in. Now I have to put this back in. I think this is the throttle, the drive control for the speed engagement for the clutch. And so that's going to go back down, all the way back down there, and it's going to connect to a spring. And I'll show you that in a minute. So, but for now, we have to feed it through and then reconnect it to the spring that it was on. Okay, so now I'm going to tilt this back and roll it back a little, except it's stuck in gear, so I guess I won't. And I haven't connected the cable up to the chassis yet, so. But coming around the front, you can see, this is the spring that has to go here, and then you have to get that drive cable that's kind of sticking there, and you got to get that attached to the right place on the pulley when the time comes. So you'll notice I fished the spring and cable assembly for the drive up, and I'm going to use this nice hook to pull that onto here. Okay, so now that I've got the spring on there, I want to make sure I connect this spring back to here. So there it is. that one's pretty easy. The back one's kind of hard. Now we have to put this back on. It goes right up on those 2 bolts with a 1/2 inch wrench. So you just have these nuts. I forgot to mention, you really should put the belt on first. So I propped open, I took the spring back off here on the tension pulley, and then I wedged a tool in here just to keep it back, and then I weaseled the belt onto the pulley. So just make sure you get everything straight when you let go of the wrench. Take this off, and then you put the spring back where it belongs, over there. Okay, and now you can put the belt guard back on. Just like that. So now we're going to take this, see the slotted key, and we're going to put that up on this shaft. See the slotted part? And then we're going to put the bolt in and tighten it a bit. Okay, so this isn't tight, it's just sitting there, and this will turn. You see this umbilical here has to get put into there at some point, so don't forget that. The important thing is that you're going to need a tool like this. This is just a screwdriver bit for a screw gun. And the reason you need that is when it comes to tightening it, there's a hole up in there that holds this from spinning. And if you don't put something like this in, well, it'll just spin forever. Same with loosening it. It's even more important for loosening it. So anyways, I'm going to do that now. And I'll show you the hole when I find it here in a sec. Okay, I've hand tightened it quite a bit. And now you'll see I've put in my little screwdriver bit. And I'm going to tighten some more. And that'll eventually catch up on that. And then you'll just back it off a little bit when it's fully tight so that you can extract it. See there, you can see the screwdriver bit. I tightened it pretty tight, and then I backed it off just a little bit, which didn't loosen the bolt, but it did rotate the shaft, and so it loosened that up. So now all I have to do is reach in and pull that out of there. Okay, so I've got the connector back in. Push it in until it clicks. This is in nice and tight. Springs are all on. I'm ready to put the cables back in the other side. So here I'm going to put the shift lever back on. The knob is off, because that's how it was when I had to take it off. And you just tighten these back up. You'll notice here that I marked everything with red ink. That shows the high mark and the low mark of where these original set screws were. You could probably get away with not worrying about it, but I don't like to have to figure that out more than once.